and angry, then they are said to be hangry. Hunger-induced anger is believed to be caused due to various reasons.
Dude, tell me fast. I'm feeling hungry.
All right. When we eat food, it is mostly converted to glucose. This glucose is absorbed by blood and then transported to our cells, especially those present in our brain. However, when glucose level drops, our brain perceives it as a life-threatening situation. It gets stressed, thus making us impatient and irritated, which eventually leads to anger. In addition to this, when our energy levels are low, a brain chemical called neuropeptide Y is produced that makes us hungry and encourages us to eat. But as the same chemical regulates aggression, its production makes us angry as well, thus making us hangry. Topic: motion sickness. Why do we get car sickness?
Because some cars are haunted.
Nah. According to a prevailing theory, car sickness occurs because of mismatched or conflicting sensory signals. In a moving car, our eyes see that the car seats are not moving, thus informing our brain that we are stationary. However, the inner ear, which detects motion, notices the turns and bumps in the road and tells our brain that we are moving, thus creating a sensory mismatch and making us carsick.
But why do we vomit?
During human evolution, when there were no vehicles, only the intake of foods containing neurotoxins made our brain receive conflicting signals. Now, the only way to remove these neurotoxins was to vomit. Hence, in the present time, when our brain receives such mismatched signals, it thinks that there is some neurotoxin in our stomach. Thus, it induces vomiting. Topic: osmosis. How do fish drink water?
That's easy. Using a straw.
No. Fish take in water usually through their mouth or gills, depending on whether they live in fresh water or salt water. Freshwater fish takes in water mainly through its gills.
But why?
Because it has less water and more salt concentration in its blood than the surrounding water. Hence, due to osmosis, water from the surrounding flows through the gills into its bloodstream. However, as the fish is continuously taking in water, it urinates a lot and removes excess water. Depending on whether they live in fresh water or salt water. Freshwater fish takes in water mainly through its gills.
But why?
Because it has less water and more salt concentration in its blood than the surrounding water. Hence, due to osmosis, water from the surrounding flows through the gills into its bloodstream. However, as the fish is continuously taking in water, it urinates a lot and removes excess water. Saltwater fish takes in water through its mouth.
Oh, really?
This is because its blood has more water and less salt concentration than the salt water around it. Hence, to maintain the balance, the fish gulps salt water through its mouth, filters the water for its use, and expels excess salt while urinating. It's sometime. Why is blood red in color?
Because every day it bathes using red paint.
No. Our blood mainly consists of a liquid called plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. However, the color of our blood is basically because of red blood cells. Each of the red blood cells contains hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is an iron-rich protein. When hemoglobin binds with oxygen, the interaction between them gives our blood its red color. Moreover, like human beings, not all animals have red-colored blood. This is because the blood of some animals, such as octopuses, spiders, etc., has hemocyanin instead of hemoglobin. Hemocyanin is a copper-containing protein. When hemocyanin binds with oxygen, their interaction gives the blood a blue color. The blood of some lizards has biliverdin instead of hemoglobin, which gives their blood a green color.
Hold on, guys. Can you guess the title of my next video? Hurry up! Write your guess in the comment section below.